comes to your interaction with Mr. Nathan?
Well, I guess that my first personal contact was when I was organising National Day in 2009. That was when I was in SAF. That was when I remember meeting Mr. and Mrs. Nathan, and I remembered he penned a letter to send to us to congratulate us, I think, for what we've done. And although I also remembered, he was quite frank with also his comments about what he liked, what he didn't quite so like as well. And I remember just meeting him, and it's just a very down-to-earth, very humble man. And I think after it came to politics as well, I remember he sent me a note, wanted to call on me to share some thoughts and all that, which I thought, he shouldn't be calling on me. Very strange. I mean, he might have stepped down as president, but he's still very much our ex-president and very well respected and regarded. So I went to see him. In fact, the last time I met him was a while back. I came to visit him in his home. I had a long chat with him on various issues. And having come to MSF as well, I didn't quite realize it as well, but he's clearly quite a very well regarded figure in the social work sector as well, because he's very much a social work student. In fact, just a couple of days ago, we were celebrating the birthday for Andy, who's been teaching in NUS for a long time, and also Mrs. Jean Marshall, also a 90th birthday. And they all speak very fondly of Mr. Nathan and the impact that he has had. And I think many people in the social work sector will remember him as well. And I think a lot of us don't fully realize the extent of the difference that it's made to our lives. In earlier years, people might have forgotten the Laju incident. It was very much in the forefront of security agencies. I think many of these stories probably wouldn't see light of day. I'm not sure whether it will ever be declassified, but I think he played a very important role in, I think, safeguarding our interests. But on the other extreme end, also looking after the well-being of less privileged Singaporeans. And I think that's the mark of what he has done. He's certainly lived a full life. And I think clearly from the responses from the public, just talking to the family, a lot of stories emerging which they also didn't know. Because I think he's largely a very private man. He doesn't always talk about the things he's done. And I think it's in his passing that many of us probably learn more about him and about how much an impact he's had on so many of us.
Minister, you mentioned that Mr. Nathan had asked to meet you when you were appointed minister. Could you share with us a bit about what you all talked about, any advice that he gave you, any lessons you've learned from him?
Well, one of the things that has been reported in the papers about his preoccupation about Singapore and our future, that's clearly the case. We talk about many different issues. We talk about the challenges that we face today, the way the world is changing, and share some of his thoughts and perspectives. And I mean, I couldn't really pinpoint a particular issue, but it was really a range. But clearly, these things weighed on his mind, because I guess his whole entire life in public service was really about serving our country and looking out for the interests of our people and our nation. And I think he just wanted to share some of his thoughts and experiences over the years. And I guess, from some of the reports you read, clearly that's something that I guess he shares that with a lot of people. And that shows how much we as a people and we as a nation mean to him. And even despite stepping down from office, he still continues to take an active interest.